Hi children, Teacher Mike here and Baby Sam. And in this video, I'm going to read to you a book called About Amphibians. So we're going to learn about amphibians. So let me get my book ready. Here we go. Yeah, this is called About Amphibians, A Guide for Children by Catherine Sill and illustrated by John Sill. So Catherine Sill wrote all the words and John Sill drew the pictures. Let's see. So this says, amphibians have soft, moist skin. So if you remember, reptiles and fish have scales, so their skin is kind of hard, but amphibians have soft, moist skin. So they're soft and moist. Moist means a little bit wet. So if you touch one, it might feel a little bit slimy. And this is a picture of a red salamander. Pretty cool. Most amphibians spend part of their lives in water. And this is a bullfrog. Looks like part of its body is under a pond with a little lily pad on top. And part of their lives on land. And this is a Couch's spadefoot toad. It looks like it's living right under a tree with some bushes and worms around it. So let me go back. So most amphibians spend part of their lives in water and part on land. So some of the amphibians start their lives in the water, and a lot of frogs start as tadpoles and they swim in the water and they go through transformation and then they can go on land afterwards. Amphibians hatch from eggs laid in water or wet places. So you see these eggs right here. These are the amphibian eggs, and this is a spotted salamander. Why do you think they call it a spotted salamander? Let's think about it. Tell me, why do they call it a spotted salamander? Yeah, because it has spots. It has these yellow spots on it, see? So the scientists named it a spotted salamander. So these eggs are laid in water or wet places. And another cool thing about amphibian eggs is they're very soft, like their skin. So if you think of an egg like a chicken egg or a bird's egg or a snake egg, we think of like a hard shell, an egg shell. But amphibian eggs don't have the shell. It's just really soft and gooey. So they don't have a hard shell. Amphibians change as they grow into adults. So this is a picture of an American toad, and we're going to start right here. These are the soft eggs, and each black dot is the start to a different frog. And then the eggs kind of split up a little bit, and you can see the black dots have turned into looks like little tadpoles inside there. And then when they hatch and they come out, they grow into a tadpole. This is a tadpole right here at the bottom. They have a long tail. They don't have legs yet. They don't have lungs yet. So tadpoles breathe with gills. They swim in the water. And then they grow hind legs. Hind legs are the legs in the back. And it's still living in the water at this phase. It's not going on land yet. So it still has this tail to help it swim. The legs are helping it swim now. And then it grows front legs, 4 legs. 4 legs means front legs. So now this frog, this is looking more like a frog now, less like a tadpole. So the back legs have gotten a little bit bigger. The 4 legs have grown in. And look at the tail. The tail is getting smaller and smaller. And then this is the phase where their lungs start to grow inside their bodies. So we can't really see it yet. And then it grows into a full adult-sized frog, okay? And that long tail is gone. The hind legs are really long, and that can help them jump now. And the 4 legs, the front legs, are fully developed, and it has lungs inside its body, so it can breathe. So this is the transformation that a frog goes through. And another word we use for this is metamorphosis. Metamorphosis. Can you say metamorphosis? Yeah, that is a long word. Metamorphosis means change. So this is how a frog changes from an egg to a tadpole to an adult frog. Let's check out the next page. Some amphibians have tails. And this is called a long-tailed salamander, probably, as you guessed, because it has such a long tail. So scientists named it a long-tailed salamander. Others lose their tails as they grow up. So this is a picture of an eastern narrowmouth toad. And just like the frog we looked at earlier, when it became an adult, the tail is gone. It doesn't have a tail anymore. So some amphibians have tails, some amphibians don't have tails. Amphibians have many enemies. Can you find the northern leopard frog on this picture? Let's see, where is it? Is it at the top? No, this is a bird. Birds like to eat frogs. Here's the frog. It's hiding under the log. So this is a northern leopard frog. It's hiding under this log. It's hoping that this bird doesn't see it because this bird is going to try to eat it. Oh, I hope it gets out. Some are camouflage for protection. So camouflage means that they blend into their environment. They're harder to see. So there's a gray tree frog in this picture. Can you find it? Point to your screen and find it. Yeah, here it is, this gray tree frog. And there's another frog camouflaged in here. Can you find it? Yeah, it's over here, this green frog. That's pretty cool. So this green one's blending into the leaf, and this gray one is blending into the bark. They're both camouflaged, hard to see. So if a bird came along, a bird would have a hard time finding them. Others are protected by poison glands in their skin. So this is a Colorado river toad, and it has poison glands in its skin. So if an animal touches or eats it, they'll get poisoned, and they don't want that to happen. So they try to avoid this Colorado river toad. Amphibians bury themselves and sleep through very cold or very hot weather. So this is two different pictures. This diagonal line cuts it in half. And this frog is called a wood frog, and it buried itself. It dug a hole and it buried itself under the ground. And you can see there's snow up here at the top. So this must be wintertime. And amphibians are cold-blooded. So that means they cannot regulate their body temperature. So if this frog was outside on the snow, it would get really cold and freeze. And it doesn't want that to happen. So it dug a hole and it's buried itself under the ground to protect its body from the cold snow. And then over here we have a Great Plains toad, and this looks like it's in the desert because there's a cactus here and a lot of dirt. So this is probably in the desert where it's really, really hot. And if this toad was outside of the ground, if it was on top of the ground and it's really, really hot, then it would overheat and get way too hot and it wouldn't be able to survive. So it dug a hole and it's staying under the ground. So they're both protecting their bodies. This frog is protecting itself from the cold weather, and this frog is protecting itself from the hot weather. Some amphibians have voices and call to each other. So these are called spring peepers. You can see that there's a little bulge right here under its mouth, and it's right here in their neck, so they can blow it up. And then when they let it out, it makes a nice, cool sound. So they make this sound to talk to each other. They can't use words like we do, but they make sounds to talk to each other, to say hello. Most amphibians eat insects, and this is an oak toad, and you can see its tongue is coming out, and its tongue is sticky, so its tongue gets to grab that fly and then suck it back into its mouth. So its tongue comes out, grabs a fly, brings it back into its mouth so it can eat. Most amphibians eat insects. Yummy. Some may eat snakes, worms, and other small animals. So this is a tiger salamander, probably because it has some stripes right here, and it is eating a worm. So some of the larger amphibians eat snakes and worms and other small animals. It is important to protect amphibians and the places where they live. So this is a pine barrens tree frog right here. It's very beautiful, very cool. And we want to protect the environment so that these amphibians can keep living. And that is the end of our story. So this is just a little summary of what we read already. And this book was about amphibians. And I hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.